Welcome, dear viewers and followers of MosawaMovie, where we delve into the depths of cinematic works and uncover their threads to discover what lies behind the screen. Today, we're analyzing the film Duchess, due out in 2024. Directed by the often controversial Marshall, and starring Charlotte Kirk, who not only directed the film but also co-wrote the screenplay, this film boldly ventures into the world of crime and revenge. It clearly aspires to be the next Guy Ritchie film, but with a distinct and powerful feminine twist. Nevertheless, Duchess has sparked intense controversy and received a wide range of opinions, from outright rejection to cautious praise for its ambition. So, what exactly is the story of Duchess? How does it navigate the treacherous world of crime, and what ultimately made it such a controversial cinematic experience? Let's unravel the threads. Our journey begins in the heart of London's underworld, where Scarlett Monahan, played by Charlotte Kirk, struggles to become a skilled, albeit low-level, pickpocket. She's agile, street-smart, and possesses an innate charisma that quickly draws her into a bigger and more dangerous game. Her life changes drastically when she meets Rob McNaughton, played by Philip Winchester, a former military man drawn into the perilous world of international diamond smuggling. Their meeting is no mere coincidence, it's a collision of two worlds that promise immense wealth and deadly danger. A significant amount of screen time is devoted to the budding relationship between Scarlett and Rob. Rob is portrayed as an enigmatic, almost mythical figure, a man of charm, sophistication, and undeniable danger. He's the archetypal controlling figure, a protector, and a mentor, introducing Scarlett to a world beyond her wildest dreams. A world of lavish real estate, designer clothes, and glittering jewelry. The story frames this romance as a pivotal element, almost the catalyst for everything that follows. However, this focus also invites scrutiny. Critics have long pointed out that this relationship, while pivotal, can feel inchoate or even rushed, making it difficult for the audience to fully grasp its depth, especially given the rapid pace of their courtship. This early dynamic also raises an interesting question. If Scarlett's entire subsequent journey is built on avenging this man, does it truly serve the film's ambition of portraying a strong, independent main character, or is it inadvertently cementing her power in the persona of a man? Rob quickly integrates Scarlett into his sophisticated criminal network. This isn't just a gang of criminals, it's a meticulously organized gang. We get to know its key players, Danny Oswald, Sean Pertwee, a seasoned and tired veteran who has committed countless heists, bringing a wry realism to the team, and Billy Baraka, Hughie Fortuna, the calm, almost disturbingly quiet enforcer, whose mere presence reveals much about the stakes involved. This group operates with extreme efficiency, generating high-value diamond fortunes across Europe. Their world is filled with high-stakes gambling, extravagant parties, and the illusion of invincibility. However, beneath the surface of this glittering criminal enterprise, the seeds of betrayal are already being sown. Marshall, known for his bold style in survival horror films such as The Descent and the brutal military sequences in Dog Soldiers, attempts to break new ground. He attempts to infuse his signature sensory intensity with a dialogue-driven kineticism reminiscent of Guy Ritchie's early work. Glimpses of this ambition are seen in the fast-paced editing, the stylish characterizations, and the attempt at a sharp sense of humor. However, the initial atmosphere feels somewhat disjointed. The transition from Scarlett's simple robbery to her sudden plunge into multi-million-dollar diamond smuggling is abrupt, requiring a great deal of trust from the audience in their quick assimilation and acceptance within this cohesive and dangerous ensemble. While the supporting characters offer enjoyable moments, they often resemble archetypes rather than fully fleshed-out characters, which can diminish the overall emotional investment in the developing drama. The film attempts to build tension from this initial success, but the anticipated sense of inevitable betrayal isn't always as clear as it should be. The illusion is shattered in a brutal and decisive moment. The film's pivotal turning point is a devastating betrayal that devastates Rob's entire operation. In a horrific, bloody ambush, Rob is brutally murdered and left for dead in the desolate desert. Scarlett is also left for dead, wounded and abandoned, a mere survivor of the massacre. But from the ashes of this catastrophe, a new entity is formed. Scarlett Monahan is no longer just a guest, she is the birth of the Duchess. This is where the Duchess's true revenge story begins. Scarlett's transformation was meant to be absolute and terrifying. Fueled by intense grief for Rob and an insatiable desire for revenge, she embarks on a brutal and methodical quest for revenge. The film attempts to establish her training montages, demonstrating her mastery of combat skills, weapons handling, and strategic thinking, all skills Rob is supposed to have acquired. However, one of the most significant criticisms here is the lack of authenticity of this rapid transformation. This can leave the audience feeling disconnected, making her newfound prowess seem more like a convenient plot device than a well-earned development. The emotional depth required for such a profound transformation is often sidelined where he's been most criticized. The film relies on Ritchie's signature style of fast-paced editing, on-screen text introducing characters with grotesque descriptions, and a pervasive voiceover from Scarlett's perspective to guide us through her brutal journey. The ambition is clear, but the execution often falls short. Many critics argue that while Duchess attempts to capture Ritchie's chaotic energy, it largely lacks the sharp wit, clever dialogue, and intricate, often absurd, plot twists that characterize his best work. The dialogue in Duchess is frequently described as convoluted or contrived, undermining its attempts at solid realism or light-hearted comedy. The violence, while abundant, sometimes feels gratuitous and excessive, acting more as a shock tactic than meaningful character or plot advancement. While there are well-crafted action sequences and moments of genuine tension, they often feel somewhat isolated within a larger narrative that struggles to maintain a consistent tone or convincing pacing. The Duchess received harsh criticism, primarily for its screenplay and directorial choices. It was often described as a pale imitation of classic British crime thrillers, and was criticized for its perceived lack of originality, weak character development, and narrative difficulty maintaining coherence. One of the most prominent criticisms of the Duchess film revolved around its portrayal of female empowerment and the concept of the strong heroine. While Scarlett undoubtedly transforms into a powerful and deadly Duchess, her driving force throughout the film is revenge for the murder of a man. This narrative choice has led some to argue that the film, despite its attempts to present advanced characters, ultimately remains tied to a conventional idea. A woman's strength and purpose stem from her association with a male character. Even as Scarlett seeks to build her own criminal empire, the film occasionally slips into stereotypical portrayals, such as using feminine charm as a primary means of distraction or manipulation, which can undermine the idea of the independent, self-reliant heroine the film seeks to establish. This inconsistency often prevents the film from achieving its stated goal of presenting a strong, empowered female protagonist in a male-dominated genre. Alongside the thematic issues, the film's technical aspects and pacing have come under scrutiny. While it manages to showcase a wide-ranging visual scope despite its relatively modest budget, some stylistic choices have been questioned. The editing, while attempting to be dynamic, sometimes feels frantic or disjointed, impeding the narrative flow rather than enhancing it. Let's take a look at the performances outside of Charlotte Kirk. While Kirk carries much of the film's weight, the supporting cast, particularly Sean Pertwee, often delivers some of the film's most poignant and memorable moments. His portrayal of the weary Danny Oswald brings a welcome sense of gravitas and expertise to the world of crime. However, even strong individual performances can be overshadowed by a script that doesn't always give its characters enough room to breathe or develop beyond their initial stereotypes. The film's voiceover, while intended to offer insight into Scarlett's mindset, sometimes ends up stating platitudes or over-the-top efforts to cool the narrative rather than revealing deeper emotional truths. Despite its many criticisms, Duchess isn't entirely without merit. It offers a kind of emotional escapism for fans of straightforward, often brutal, action films. It reminds us that the British crime genre is still evolving, even if its recent releases have occasionally stumbled. Ultimately, Duchess, 2024, is a film that bravely attempts to integrate elements of violent action, dark humor, and a feminist revenge narrative within the established British gangster genre. However, the execution struggles to integrate these ambitious elements into a cohesive or truly original cinematic experience. It often feels as if it's trying too hard to emulate its stylistic inspirations without truly grasping the underlying intelligence and narrative complexity that led to their success. The overall impression that Duchess leaves is that of a film perhaps intended for the big screen, but often better suited to a direct-to-internet release or an ambitious television pilot. Its considerable length, approaching 2 hours, coupled with some notable pacing issues, particularly in the setup, may make the viewing experience feel long for some. Despite its poignant moments and a committed lead performance, it struggles to leave a lasting mark in a genre already saturated with strong, and often over-the-top, films. So, in conclusion, Duchess, 2024, represents a serious attempt at a female-centric crime revenge thriller. Despite its clear intentions and strong desire to present a compelling and powerful heroine, challenges in the script, character development, and overall execution ultimately led the film to fall into the trap of repetition and convention. While the film may appeal to fans of straightforward, gritty action films, or perhaps fans of Neil Marshall's more intense previous works, it falls short of the cinematic brilliance or originality it aspires to. Don't expect a groundbreaking masterpiece or a truly distinctive addition to the world of crime cinema. It's a film that exists, and that may be enough for some. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments below. Have you seen Duchess? What did you think of the film? Don't forget to like and subscribe to MosawaMovie for more in-depth film analysis. See you!